Listen, you got a lot of artists that are platinum right now. They shouldn't be platinum. They're garbage. Think about it, right? Just think about it, right? You have some artists who cannot rhyme or who cannot sing that when in the studio and thanks to technology, they sound like Whitney. Will never sound like Whitney Houston. But they're appealing to the point where they can have millions and millions of streams. But guess what happened? We live in a very sick world.
Yes, we do.
We live in a very, very sick world.
Yes, we do.
Welcome to the podcast from Doug Ground Up Productions with hosts Lady Miz and Ray. This is a universal platform, and there is nothing off limits. We talk about it all, and we keep it real. This is a no judgment zone, so come as you are. If you are a professional, entertainer, author, comedian, entrepreneur, or just someone who wants to get something off their chest, well, let your voice be heard here on From the Ground Up Productions. Sponsorship and other opportunities are available from the Ground Up Productions. Turning nothing into something. There's only one way to go from here. And now, here are your hosts, Lady Miz and Ray.
What's good, people? You know what it is. This is Lady Miz from the Ground Up Productions. There's only one way to go from here. This is where creators meet. And I am super excited because in person today, I got the one and only IBORN in the building. What's good, brother?
Blessings, Queen. Blessings. Thank you for having me here today.
Listen, thank you so much for coming. I'm definitely happy to be chopping it up with you in person.
Yes.
And I appreciate you coming through. You know, we got to tap into, I talked to you before, but we want to catch up on everything that you got going on now and talk about some of the industry stuff. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I know you deep, so you got a lot. Yeah. You got a lot I know you're going to share with us.
Yes,
I got my questions in sections. So we're going to break it down in sections. Okay.
Let's do it.
All right. So let's start with your recent projects and collaborations, right? So I know that you released the single, The Light, featuring Jim Jones.
Yes.
All right. So talk to us about that. And it wasn't just Jim Jones. It was Angel Hill.
Jim Jones and Angel Hill,
Okay.
Produced by the Heatmakers.
Yes. So talk to us about that. And I know we spoke about some stuff before, but I still want to cover it a little bit again, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. Listen, I'm here. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. Yes. Take us through that. Give us some, put us up to speed as to how that's going.
The project is doing extremely well. We're doing some really good numbers right now.
Okay.
The song with Jim Jones, just Jim Jones just being a good brother. The Nation of Islam, we have a love for Jim Jones and what he's doing. So I told Arsonist, being that Arsonist has helped the Dipset reach great heights in hip hop. Jim Jones working on projects. I said, I would love to do a record with Jim. I love what he's about, and I think it'd be a good combination. So it was just, how do we do the record and what makes sense for the record?
Okay.
Jim is Jim. IBORN is IBORN.
Right.
So I think a lot of that Jim definitely conformed to certain things in the song. And we just had to put it together. It was a funny situation meeting Jim. And Jim, I met Jim on 135th and 5th. Mm-hmm. And he was like, it was about 9 o'clock at night. He said, come on, let's go do the song now. And I'm like, I can't do it right now. I'm flying to Chicago. And I would love to, but Jim is a late night, he's a late night guy. He's in the studios weird hours. So by the time I got to Chicago in 11 o'clock, I had the verse. And Jimmy, he's quick in the studio.
Oh, he ain't playing.
Nah, he's not playing. So then the next thing was trying to get the hook. How do we get a hook? I had so many things in mind. I wanted to get this young brother from Atlanta. I wanted to get him on there. And that didn't quite work out. So Arsonist was working with this guy by the name of Angel Hill, and I'm listening to some of the references that Angel was doing. Mm-hmm. And he's doing some I can't say who was doing some references now, but they are some iconic people. And sent the song to Angel, and Angel, when he kicked that back, I'm like, everything just fell in place. The light. Right. And of course, the light stands for many things, but of course, It stands for knowledge. It stands for upliftment. It stands for brightness in the culture. And everything just came together so great.
I love the combination of the artists with you, Jim Jones, Angel Hill, because I also like the fact that, you know, and I know we spoke about this before when we're talking about the Nation of Islam, bridging the gap, right? Bridging the gap between you, because a lot of people would say, well, oh no, you can't do a record with certain people if they have this type of image or they talk about certain things. Right. How do you overcome all of that when you're doing your music?
Well, that's a great question. And you know, it's a struggle because arsonists really wanted me to flow into this lane, right? I didn't consider myself to be what we call a nation rapper or what we call a righteous rapper or a conscious rapper, right? So you would think I'm born in the Nation of Islam, that will be my thing. I had to grow into that. I had to evolve into that because when I hear a beat and you know you're an artist, you just want to write.
Right.
You write creatively what comes from your heart, where the music takes you. So being around and wanting to do certain songs with certain artists that may not blend in with the teachings of the Nation of Islam, we have to look at it, right? We're all part of the Nation of Islam, regardless of how you want to take it, right? Just positive, blending in, trying to take the negative and making a positive out of the negative. Some of the music that, you know, as long as it's not that kill music, I could get with it. So it would really be hard for me to get with an artist that's talking about just killing his whole projects or killing the whole community. Like, nah, beloved, we have to have some sort of civilization in this music. How do we turn that around and opposed to killing another man or another black man, kill something that's negative or take the negative and turn it into a positive? So sometimes it could be hard depending on the artist, but I'm very wise on picking the artist. And, I don't really rock with certain music that's crazy like that. Okay. So, that's the thing. I'm not going to jump on a record with somebody that does drill music.
Okay. Are you totally against drill?
I love the music, but think about what we're talking about. And to my young brothers who now they call the YNs. That's the new name that they got, right? The YNs, right?
Right, yeah.
When you're just talking about killing your op all the time. Me, I got a problem with that, right? Because the reality is, the op looks like you. He's not your enemy. So now you're talking about killing somebody that looks like you, who's a part of us, to do what? Glorify that and make a person that doesn't look like you richer. Right. Who's investing in you, rhyming about killing somebody that looks like you for the benefit of him financially to take care of his family. Right? So I was looking at something. I think it might have been the Breakfast Club. It was something. And they was talking to Leor Cohen.
Okay.
And basically like, okay, you're paying and putting these artists out, talking about killing their community,
I seen that.
You saw that, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's a matter of fact, it was Dame Dash was calling them a culture vulture, because here you are in the place you are, you're financing and endorsing the killing of young black men, right? You're endorsing young black women speaking derogatory, just talking crazy, disrespecting themselves, and it's all for the benefit and the upliftment of you financially to better your life.
Because that's what he said.
Basically, that's what he said in a nutshell, right?
Yes.
So, okay, it's to hell with black people. I'm going to play you to exploit the barbarity and this, that, and the third so I can make myself rich. I'm going to put some money in your pocket, but while I'm doing that, you're killing your community. You're putting this negative image in these young black women's minds to go out there and talk about whorism and slutism. I don't know if those are words, but we're going to throw it out there, right?
We're going to make it a word today.
Make it a word today, right? And then a young black man, you're talking about killing somebody that looks like you, right?
Right.
That has a family just like you.
Exactly.
Just to put a couple of dollars in your pocket. And he's rich off of that. But now you just caused a gang war in a different community because of what he invested in. So what are we doing? So at some point, I don't listen to drill music.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
I call it kill music. Because that's honestly what it is. And like I was telling you last time, like when you're making music like this, how many people can you kill in a song?
Right.
Right? Think about it. How many people can you kill in one song?
A lot, apparently.
Yeah, it's like a John Wick movie on wax.
Right.
John Wick could kill about 1,000 people in a movie, and it's the same thing when it comes to drill music. But I don't really listen to it. I don't promote it. I'm in a place now where I would like to teach those young brothers that do that type of music,
That's good. And it's funny you say that because one, That's what's needed. A lot of times, okay, and I don't want to talk bad about the church. I'm just saying sometimes they'll make people feel so guilty where they would not want to go in, right? So you push people away, but you do have to embrace.
Absolutely.
How do you get to the people or get to the kids to be able to help change their mindset if you're judging them? Because now there's a brick wall of defense that is put up.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So would you say that when you are dealing with artists, you are, what's your approach?
To come to them as them, because guess what? IBORN wasn't always IBORN.
Okay.
I'm not the holier than thou, brother.
Okay.
I was outside selling drugs. I was very violent when I was a teenager. And this is just I was a product of my environment. Not to say that Mount Vernon is a beautiful place, but every city has that part of the hood that's the hood. So I moved from a nice part of Mount Vernon where I came up to the south side, and, I had to adapt to everything around me. Where I went to elementary school, there was no drug selling. But as soon as I got to the south side, there was drug selling. So I didn't necessarily blend in, but I just had to adapt to my environment.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Well, I just lost my train of thought.
No, it's okay. It's all right. Well, let me say this. Adapting to your environment, most drill rappers will say, well, that's what we're doing.
That is true, but okay, now once you've made the money off of the drill music, now you're not in the South Side anymore. You've moved to a higher class. Right. So now you almost become a Leo Cohen. You live in a different lifestyle now, but you're rhyming about stuff that you're not doing, and you're benefiting off of it, and now you've just planted a seed in another young brother that's coming up listening to your music. He's rhyming about that, and now he's just started another war.
You know what? I'm working on a song now. This is a part 2. It's called Woke Prisoner.
Okay.
And I talk about Woke Prisoner, right? And I mentioned just the line, right? And I'm going to put it on you to elaborate on it. Okay. I said our black pain became a market for death. Okay? It became a market for death. And this is what Leon is doing. This is what our people are doing to each other. Absolutely. Right? But you're here, right? Which is great, doing amazing things and putting out an amazing message that is uplifting the people, which is what we need. But there are not many like you in this industry doing that. So I feel like as a people, we're failing. And we're failing the youth. Yeah. So how do you feel about that?
It's bad, right? And I thank a lot for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, what he's doing, his love for our people, how he's teaching the young generation right now. They look up to the minister. And he's putting out this positive thing that you can make change and you can do this, right? So even in the music, if you think about a so-called righteous rapper, we have the hardest task and we have the hardest assignment, right? Because, all right, let's deal with social media. If you put something on social media right now that's about killing or somebody getting knocked out or stomped out, it's going to go viral. But if I put something on there about upliftment, going in the community, feeding the homeless, being charitable, social media, even with the algorithm, won't let me reach a certain audience because the algorithm is targeted to shut down the righteous messenger. You shut the righteous messenger down, but you uplift the shooter and the killer.
Right. But who owns these platforms?
I mean, listen, we know who's on that.
I mean, hey, I seen when Farrakhan spoke on his platforms being taken away. Absolutely. Okay. I've seen where what's the one Yaki Awakening? Is it Yaki Awakening? The one that with the dreads, he's speaking on the health.
Yes, they took him down, right?
They took all of his social media down. Right. Okay, I mean everybody. I mean, I think I don't know if what's his name, Rizza
Islam. Islam. I was just talking to my brother Saigon about this. They've taken Rizza has about 7 or 10 different accounts that he has to jump off and on because as soon as they catch him, they shut him down. Yeah. So here's the reality, right? When you speak truth to power, they're going to shut you down. So you're talking about the brother that had the locks that was speaking about holistic remedies and what to do with yourself. This is Satan controls the media. Yes. And this is the reality. Satan controls the media. So here you have a black man that's teaching you how to eat, teaching you what not to eat so that you don't have to take these different over-the-counter things that Satan and his administration has put out to the people that's going to have some sort of side effect. Let's speak about that, right? Mm-hmm. Since when have you looked at the TV, every other commercial is a medicine, and in the medicine, it has a side effect that can cause suicidal thoughts.
Yeah, that's crazy. Listen,
right?
A whole bunch.
It's crazy, right? You've never seen this before, right? So then when we come with books that was given by the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, How to Eat to Live, Volume 1 and 2, as he was taught by God in person, telling you what to eat and what not to eat.
Right.
They want to shut this down.
And you know what I find to be, it's very disturbing because they want you to really trust them.
Absolutely.
And they want to make the people who we should be trusting look, they try to bash them, make them look like they're crazy. Right. They do everything to assassinate their character for the public to look at them and see them in a certain way. And they use our own people sometimes
against us.
Okay?
Right.
To throw the stones and bring somebody down.
Yes.
How do we get around that?
We really have to tap into our own resources, invest in ourselves, support each other. You know, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said that our unity is more powerful than an atomic bomb. So once we can learn to unite and trust each other, because like I said, Satan has put out so many traps, whereas he'll make us seem like we're the enemy with each other, going back to drill music, right? Seeming like we're the enemy with each other. And how can you trust them? They've oppressed us for so many years, and now you want us to trust our open enemy. Absolutely not. So once again, here comes the Nation of Islam on the front line fighting for freedom, justice, and equality. And a lot of people, you know, they may not understand the nation, or they're strict, or they're... No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. God came to save us, to give us our identity back, and to show us who we are, and to make us a righteous nation, which we are supposed to be. Right. So this is what happened. So now they set these plots up. Now you see how many people go after the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan? Yes. But he's unscathed because he's God's man.
Absolutely.
He's God's man. So when he's so tapped in to the God and the exalted living Christ, we know to be the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, that the minister has a barrier around him where you can't touch him.
Good.
You know, and he gives that to the believers in the nation. And here we are, little saviors. If you look at my Instagram, we just hit Baltimore. Right? We go all over, and we go to the hardest parts of what they call the ghetto. We go to where our people is at. We touch them with love. We touch them and uplift them. The children see us. This is what we want you to be, a part of a mighty nation. So that's how we get around and just investing. And like I said, you know, pick up a Final Call newspaper, shameless plug. And
do what you do.
Pick up a Final Call newspaper. It's Bowtie City, wherever you at in the world, you're going to see a brother like IBORN on the corner, as we call truth trafficking, hurling truth at falsehood until we knock out his brains. And there's so much information in this Final Call newspaper.
Okay.
Information for beautiful black women, black men, and our children. And we're giving you all the information that we need. It's not the post. It's not that. It's the reality of the black God and our people.
We need our own everything.
Yes.
To tell you the truth. Yes. Because, and I'm shadow banned too. And I've shared, I've shared a lot of Yaki Awakening. I was sharing a lot of Farrakhan. I've shared a lot of stuff from people, and I would get messages saying that I am sharing false information in it. And I'm like, and I'm trying to see where it's coming from. Right. But I'm like, what am I sharing? Because I'm just resharing. And then I said, it's the other stuff. So the bottom line is, and I want to say this, is that I'm glad that we have Farrakhan and we have people like you guys who are starting, we have our own news. We are writing our own story and telling our own story, not allowing the media, like they've always been doing, to tell our story for us. Right. Because now we know that they're going to paint us in a certain light. Absolutely. Right? So unfortunately, we are still on these people platforms. You know what I mean?
Yes, we are.
We're on their platforms, so they still have a certain type of control.
Still a certain type of power. Meta is different. You know, Meta we're talking about Facebook, We're talking Instagram. We're talking YouTube. And it's all connected. Sometimes you could say a certain word and it triggers something in the algorithm and it'll shut you down, right?
Yes.
So I could put something out on Instagram and it'll go crazy. I put it out on Facebook and I may get 90 views.
Yes.
You know?
But it's fake.
It's a message. I'm giving a message, but I've triggered something in the algorithm that picked it up and it shuts it down for me getting to all of my followers. And that's what happens to you with Shadow Man and this artificial intelligence.
Yes.
It all works hand in hand. So you may say Farrakhan, guess what? You just triggered something in the algorithm. Now we're going to shut her down. Right. So you could have been doing a certain amount of numbers per day. Let's just throw a number 2,500 a day and it'll knock you down to 90.
Oh yeah, they messed up my numbers completely. But you have to be, people, please, you have to be very strong-minded to not allow them to break you down like that. Right. The purpose of them breaking you down is so that you could feel less than, so that you could conform to what they want you to be. Yes. You know what I mean? So you got to stay strong with the message. I love the fact that you use your music to reach the people. Right. All right? So talk to us about your creative process and when you're doing that. What is your goal when you're creating your music to reach the youth, reach the people, reach the lost ones and the lost souls?
You know, my creative process is, you know, for first and foremost, with this project right here with Arsonist, we sat down and we had a plan. Mm-hmm. We had a direction on the audience that we wanted to target, the lane that we wanted to hit. It was a lane that, you know, big shout outs because I got brothers like my brother Donique, Ashe Karan, Golden Child, my sister Heck of a Mecca, that are nation rappers that are doing this type of music. Beautiful. So I just wanted to get in this lane creatively and say, you know what? There is a group that identifies with hardcore music, and there's a group that identifies with righteous music. How do we merge them without stepping on the line of bad, foul language, but still being able to touch the mind of that young brother who's out on the corner? Right. So we came up with the subject matter, the title of the songs, like the song I did, Brother. It was a very powerful song right there. And here I am in the chorus. I'm talking about, you know, brother, I'm talking about police are killing our black babies. Now, of course, we know the type of cop. We're talking about the rogue renegade cop. Right. The racist cop that goes after killing young black men. And I touched on that subject right there. Now, we knew that was going to be a very big record right there. And in the video, I involved young men. I had young brothers from the Nation of Islam and the Junior Fruit that I wanted to be a part of that, to show the young brothers on the corner that, look, there's another side of the coin out here. You know, you can join the ranks and still be the person that you are. I wanted to show a duality where it's like, even in I Rhyme Different, you'll see me 1 minute with a full-length mink on in the heart of the hood, but then the next minute you'll see me in the trench in a long overcoat with a suit and a bow tie. Right. I just wanted to merge positive rap with street rap, but do it in a way where it was cutting and witty to the point where I can attract you in without using that type of wordplay, but using that type of wordplay if I'm making sense. So you'll listen to the songs. There's no curses. I don't curse. I don't degrade the black woman. I don't use foul language. I don't use the N-word. I don't call a woman a B. No, absolutely not. I want to uplift the black woman and uplift the black man. But I'll do this in a powerful way, whereas I'm over these hard beats and I'm killing it lyrically, but I'm sprinkling a jewel here, sprinkling a jewel there. Because you know our people. As soon as you start talking righteous, man, skip.
They don't want to hear it.
Skip.
Didn't I just tell you that? I ain't even going to say it. Somebody told me. They was like, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear all that.
That's why you got to be very cunning and wise when you do your delivery with it. I'm not just going to jump out and, hey, Islam this and Islam that. They're like, nah, I want to hear this. You know, that's how we talk. Yeah. So now I spoon feed them, and I start off with something crazy. I could talk about a car and transform the car into something crazy, but now I got your ear, and boom, that's when I hit you with the righteous bar. And now they on to like, nah, he just ain't doing all of this. Nah, I rock with him like that. Right. So that's the creative process of just kind of knowing your audience. You have to know the people that you're rhyming for, you know, or you're doing your music for. So
absolutely. Now, I know we spoke about this before, so you look amazing.
Oh,
okay, you got the hat, the bow tie.
You,
Talk
man.
to me about, are you always, is that how you always present yourself when you out? And do you ever get any kickback on, like, you know, dressing that way? Because you know how it is. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like most people think, oh, you got to have this, you got to do that. But this is still great too. Thank you. So what type of message you want the people to know when it comes to how you present yourself and how you dress?
Well, as we say in the nation, we call it suited and booted, far car recruited, right?
Okay.
I get so many compliments.
Beautiful.
By putting the suit on. You know, I mean, all the FOI in the Nation of Islam, we was on 95 and we had to stop in one of those restways, and these women they pulled one of my brothers over. She said, I don't know where y'all are going. She said, but you young men look absolutely amazing.
Beautiful.
And that's a great compliment, because, you know, there's nothing wrong with putting on the suit. But in the same token, I throw some purple jeans on with some constructions, a good chain, and I can still blend in. I'm not going to have my pants hanging off my backside.
Thank God, don't do that.
We don't do all that. But it's just showing the balance.
Right.
You know, so to the young brothers, I mean, you can throw a suit on, you know.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing corny about it.
There's nothing corny about it, you know, and it's about looking fly. Like,
right.
You know, this is custom right here.
Okay,
you know?
You better let them know.
You gotta let them know. This is custom, you know, measured and chopped and put on correctly to look a certain way.
Right.
So, but come on, let's clean our acts up. We can do we can do the jeans, we can do the Air Forces, we can do the Jordans, but you know, let's switch it up sometimes. But
Absolutely.
I feel good putting the suit on.
Yeah, we need that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Absolutely. I just want to touch on this real quick, because I should have actually asked you this when we first started. Break down, and I know you said this before, but I'm going to ask you again on the previous show, what your name represents.
IBORN. The I can stand for many things. If you listen to Born Again on my new project, I broke down in certain I's, but the I actually represents intelligence. The born represents the completion of self, going through 9 stages. Everything has to go through 9 stages before it's born. Mm-hmm. It's the fulfillment of oneself. It's being ready to reveal who you are. Your true identity is being born. So our born represent intelligence, being born. The I in the alphabets is the ninth number, which is Islam. Born in the mathematics is the number 9. So no matter how it goes, you can't escape this 9. And when I received that name, I actually thought it was corny. Like, I wanted, because, you know, you had brothers with names like Supreme, Magnetic, and all this. I'm like, man, you're giving me
I need something more thorough.
I need something like magnificent, great mind, you know. But I had to grow into the understanding of it, and so many things with me is 9. My government name Chaisarat has 9 letters.
Oh, wow, okay.
I'm born in 72. 7 plus 2 is what?
9. Okay.
I received knowledge of self in building 8, apartment 1B. 8 plus 1 is 9. The B is born. So this 9 it's incredible with me.
How it all came together.
And I'm like, wow. So born again.
Yes. I love it. Just so people know what it represents. Yeah. Yes. So you work with legends like Ghostface Killer.
Yes. My big brother, love him.
Yes, world famous.
Yes.
Joel Ortiz. I mean, listen, so many
Lyrical
collaborations.
Tyrant, the alien, right there. We call Joel the alien.
Yes, he's dope. He is dope. Yes. Now I ain't gonna lie. Look, I like forgive me, but I do like some of the hard stuff. I still do. Because listen, I grew up. Okay, this is what I need to ask you. I grew up on that, listening to music that is hard. You know what I mean? Music that was about the street. It's hard to totally turn that off, right? I guess for me, I need to understand, how do one do that if it's possible? Because I understand, hear me out for a second. I see your eyes.
Like, hey,
I see your eyes. Right? So, all right, I'm older now. I think different, and I can see things more clearer, especially when it comes to the music and the message in the music. However, don't get it twisted, y'all. We still had great messages in the music back then.
Absolutely.
And that's why they shut a lot of things down. But I didn't understand when I was younger what I was listening to. And now that I'm older, I'm like, oh my God, they were really teaching us through the music, but I didn't know that. Right. But there was still some hard stuff.
There's nothing wrong with listening to hard music.
Okay, talk to me.
So,
I need to understand this.
See, this is the reality, right? We're not spooky people. Let's not sit here and act like we're holier than thou.
Okay.
I listen to the Lox every time I work out.
Okay, that's okay.
They have a song, F You. It's the beat. It just does something to me because I know where they were coming from when they wrote that song. But it just, I love the Lox. I work out to the Lox. I work out to Wu-Tang Clan. I love the Wu. I love the Gods. That's what we came up on.
Exactly.
And you feel comfortable. See, that music back then, you can't compare it to the music now. On a hard level, there was a different type of hard. Okay, when we say hard, we're talking lyrically hard. Okay, not hard as killer hard. Okay, the Wu, lyrical, Lox, lyrical over hard beats. They spoke about the streets. Right. There's a difference in the music. Like you can't compare the Nas, Hove. You can't compare that generation that we came from to this generation. Even though you have some incredible artists, Kendrick, J. Cole. Listen to me. I love Pusha T. As what he talks about, I get it. But he's lyrically dope. When I'm gonna sit there and go, oh, I'm a FOI that I don't listen to, this type of music. I would be a hypocrite if I did.
Is it ever a struggle? Like, oh my God, I'm listening to this. I know that this is like a bad message, but it's so dope though. You know what I'm saying? See, like, is there ever a struggle?
It's never a struggle because I understand the content. I understand the artist. I understand Styles P. I understand Raekwon. I understand Busta, Nas. So they're telling tales of a time that I grew up in. Gotcha. So I listen to it because I can relate to it. It's like right now. Think about R&B music. Is there something out that can make you feel like Mary J. Blige's first and second album? No. Think about it. Or even if you go back to the greats like Evelyn Champagne King, or we go back to the Isleys, it made you feel a certain way because we were raised on it. Right. And to me, I listen to R&B music like that because it brings me back to a time when my parents were alive. Yes. Allah be pleased with them both. I think about coming up in a home and I'm hearing this music, the Temptations or whatever it is. You can't, there's nothing right now that's going to make me feel the way that I felt back in 88 when I heard Keith Sweat. Or I heard Guy I Like. It puts me in a certain zone. So the same thing, if I'm listening to Public Enemy, when I'm working out or to Rakim or Big Daddy Kane. Right. It was a time that we grew up in. So the message is the message. That message was made at that time for certain people. Okay. My son's 24. He loves Rakim. Right? He loves Wu-Tang Clan, right? All right. So it is what it is. I don't think it's about an age. I think it's about what you get out of the song. Right. Okay. All right. Okay, good. That's good to know. I hope I answered that good.
Let's talk about the Born Again album. Okay. Just what was the creative process like for that project? And do you feel that you are getting what you wanted to get out of it?
Yeah, I can never forget the day when I was in the Heatmaker studio in the Diamond District. It was just me and Arsonist. And we're having this conversation. And he was like, he basically made me believe that it could be done. And I always said that if I was to ever get with a A-list producer, how obedient I would be at his guidance. And I had the opportunity. And the sidebar, I was just watching something with LL. He said, you have to be coachable. It does not matter when, where, or who it's coming from. You have to be coachable. And I was very coachable in the process of doing that project. So when we spoke about it and we said what we're going to do with it, and Arsonist, it wasn't like, as an artist, you're putting a project together now, you're just getting random beats. Oh, I like this. Right. He didn't do that. He sat down and thought about the song. We're going to do something to this. So when he gave me the music, then we put it together collectively. So it wasn't like I'm just getting random beats sent it to me in an email. Right. Every beat that you hear on Born Again, Arsonist tailor made and designed that beat for IBORN. Nice. And that's what the creative process was. Brother was the first song that I did. And then even with the features, you know, I'm so blessed because the features that I have, they don't just do records with anybody. Joel Ortiz listen to me. Joel Ortiz doesn't care about the money. He doesn't care about that. Agent Sasco, reggae artist, does not care about the money. It's about the message and it's about the character and the quality of person that you are. And that's why me and Joel, we connected so much. And I have to say this, Joel was very instructional with my project. He was, because him and Austin, he's always in the studio. Okay. So now for me to sit around somebody like Joel all the time, and Joel is just dropping jewels, I'm like, how do I attack this? Right. And, you know, Joel would say the most simplest thing. And I would say, like, yo, listen, like, where do I start? Where do I begin? Beloved, that's it right there. That's how you start the verse. And it would happen like that. So creatively, we put the project together. That was just a process of just being in the studio, the beat being tailor-made for me, and where do we take this? Like The Honorable. When I heard the song The Honorable, she was talking about, in my body, I have a sore flame burning slow. And I elaborated on that. Like the government, they tried to kill the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan when he was diagnosed with cancer by they over-radiated him with these beads. Oh yeah, their goal was to kill the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And when I heard that, I have a sore flame, it struck something in my mind like, wow, the radiated beads that they tried to kill the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan with. So then that was the building blocks of the Honorable. Wow. You know, it's deep, right? Yeah. It's super deep.
But see, this is why I don't trust these hospitals and these doctors. Yeah. But go ahead. I don't want to cut you off. But
it's cool. And I have a song on there called Part of the Plan. And we're actually I'm actually writing the treatment for that right now. And in that song, I touched on the upliftment of a young man. Okay. This young brother basically believe in yourself. Look in that mirror and say, I'm dominant, I'm prominent. I could do anything I want. You're looking and say you was made in the image and likeness of God. This is what I want you to walk into your purpose, right? And then in the second verse, I spoke about a young sister whose mother, who we seen this young sister, her mother still wants to be outside. Her mother thinks she's her age.
Oh, it's a lot of people like that, though. It's a lot of
people like that, right? So she's not paying attention to her daughter, who's now pregnant by a man who's old enough to be her father. All because you want to still run outside and be young and try to make it into every party that you can. So in this story, this young girl now meets a young vanguard who is a young MGT in training, and they nurture her, and their parents invite the young sister to the mosque to hear the minister. And as she comes into the mosque, they nurture her, they build her up, her confidence is up. She's radiating now. Now she's ready to go to the next level. And it was all part of the plan. So, you know, it was just subjects like that I wanted to touch on because somebody needs to hear that.
Absolutely.
Like what do you hear? And I have two daughters that I've seen this stuff all the time. Wow. I see, you know, sisters my age, you still running out trying to go outside. You want to be outside. We see it. So let's talk about that. Then these are subjects that are not being spoken about on music.
Absolutely. But the thing is, like we said earlier, some people is like, they just don't want to hear it. So it's like, who do we blame now? Do we blame ourselves for saying, no, I don't want to hear that, and this is all that I'm interested in? Or do we say, well, hey, it's the media's fault because they're putting this stuff out there, but they're being given the content to be able to do that? Do you follow me? You follow where I'm coming from?
I do follow you. Listen, I take full responsibility on the parents of the children. Right. The parents have to take accountability because, look, they do. These are your children. This is what you allow them to do.
Absolutely.
Right? Yes. And that's what I spoke about, just a mother not caring. You know, there's no father in the house. And a lot of us come from a lot of broken homes. I was blessed to come from a house with a mother and a father. So it's just, once again, going back to traps and ploys, you know, that are given to our community on this information. So the best way for us to do is to find the information, the best information, and give it to our children. But we have to learn, like, yo, I can't be my daughter's best friend. Right. Like, I'm your father. Right, I'm cool with you. To the mother, you and your daughter can't be Y'all can't be going to a party together.
Yeah, absolutely not. Look, it's funny because, I'm cool with my daughter, but there's a boundary that I always make sure that she understands. You never cross with me. And even if we're listening to something, let's say a song come on and I could vibe with it even though I don't like the lyrics, but let's say a Sexy Red come on and I'm like, okay, but you know what? You got to put the clean version on. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm just keeping it real because we all know, listen, people be vibing to those songs. Don't try to act like y'all don't hear. No, she does say some crazy stuff. The one song, it got a nice little vibe to it. I'm not gonna lie, but the lyrics though. So if I'm listening to something, I'll tell my daughter, Right. Like no. She, come on, Mom, we gotta hit. No, we don't. There's no way version. I'm driving down thinking that I'm cool with my daughter in the car promoting this. I look like a fool.
I condone this madness.
Yeah. Like, and then you exactly.
Then
I'm like,
you
no.
Say something crazy to me. That opens up another door.
Yes,
mommy rocking out to this. Like, no, mommy's not rocking out to this.
I be telling them, they be calling me, oh, you acting like a church lady. No, I can listen to it, but give me the clean version. Right. Especially if I'm outside and I'm playing it out and people are walking by. You're not going to think of me in that way because I do care. It's not that people say I don't care what people think, but I do care how I present myself in the public. Okay? Absolutely. And in the home, whatever.
Yeah. But that young sister, she's I'm gonna keep it 100.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
When Little Kim was saying some things, you was like, dang, Kim, you wildin'.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Mm-hmm.
Sexy Red is Kim on steroids. Listen, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, yeah, she is, but I'm not gonna lie. Look, I could throw some Little Kim joints on that is probably close to a little neck and neck. The only thing, look, we ain't gonna fight, right? Because I'm a fan of Little Kim. I'm a fan of Little Kim. Okay, we got the same birthday. Shout out to the 7-Elevens, right? So, but what Sexy Red is promoting is diseases. Okay, that's where it's not like
practicing safe sex. And
like all of that is like, whoa, what's going on here? Because look, at the end of the day, grown-ups, we're here because our parents were intimate, right? So sex is not a horrible thing, but it's and also who's listening to the message. They put it on there for the little kids to hear.
This is what I'm trying to tell you. This is what we were talking about earlier, right? Like to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is no disrespect. I just don't see talent in what she's rhyming about. There's not a skill set. You're just talking about barbarity. You're talking about something that's crazy. And to me, what do they call those people like that? What are they, like plants? They were planted to do this. How does somebody like that gain success? And please, it's to all the people that's watching that love her, this is no disrespect, but you have to think about what I'm saying. Like, that's an audience right there. She's rhyming now to children that are in elementary school.
How would you approach somebody like her?
I'm quite sure she's been approached by people like me.
Mm-hmm.
And, when you're getting paid to do things like that, her attitude is F you. I'm chasing the bag now. That's what they say. I'm getting to the bag. I really don't care what you're saying. Reading a book is not going to pay my mortgage. Rhyming righteous is not going to pay the car note on my Bentley. So they're going to bypass whatever we have to say until the reality hits them and they have a daughter and then they start to see their daughter following in their footsteps. And then you're like, damn, that's what I was doing? So it takes for you to reproduce yourself and to see what you produce to now act like you. And you're like, damn. I didn't know I was wilding like that. Yeah, you really wasn't because you were chasing the bag along with other things.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So, that's why we have artists like Heck of a Mecca in the Nation of Islam. If y'all have never heard of this sister.
Wait, did you? I think you told me about her in the last one. Yeah.
Yes, she is a MGT in the Nation of Islam. And when I tell you this sister is talented, she is absolutely amazing. She's a breath of fresh air. And beautiful. I think all of y'all need to tap into Heck of a Mecca. Look her up. She's incredible.
I think I heard one song, but I didn't thoroughly look through it. I have to look through it, her catalog, because I didn't do that yet.
She can sing and she got bars.
Really? Okay.
She's one of those type.
Okay. All right.
She's incredible with engineering and her own music. So yeah.
Okay, all right. Go and check it out. Let's talk about this. This part is about your personal journey. Okay. Give us your background in growing up in Mount Vernon, and speak about, I guess, the experiences with the Nation of Islam in the Mount Vernon area. Like, did you get turned on to them there, or was it somewhere else? How did that come about?
Okay, so starting off with Mount Vernon, born and raised in Mount Vernon. Born on the south side of Mount Vernon. Then we moved to a middle-class community, part of Mount Vernon. And then from there, we kind of moved all around here and there. We moved to the Heights, Columbus Avenue, Mount Vernon. And Mount Vernon back then was just, from what I knew, the Heights area was absolutely incredible. It was just a good place to raise children. Very community-based. Everybody knew each other. Everybody knows each other in Mount Vernon anyway, because Mount Vernon is only 4.4 square miles. It's very small.
Okay.
It's bordered by the Bronx runs right into Mount Vernon.
I thought it was next to like Yonkers.
No, so it's funny how you say this. So Yonkers and Mount Vernon, you can literally walk from one side of the street to the other, and you're in the Bronx. Mount Vernon turns into 241st. Mount Vernon turns into Dyer Avenue. Same thing when Yonkers turns into Broadway. So Yonkers and Mount Vernon, that's why when it comes to hip hop, you see what it is right there, because we're kind of like right there.
Okay.
Yeah, I just had a lot of good friends in the community back then, going to Graham School, and moving to the South Side is when I joined the 5% Nation of Gods and Earths.
Okay.
So that's when I got the name IBORN, and just being a product of Mount Vernon hip hop was really great in Mount Vernon. We had some incredible artists. Of course, we know Heavy D.
I was going to add, okay.
And my brother Arthur Muhammad, whose name back then was Kid Dust. He really set the tone, and a lot of crews in Mount Vernon, the Tango Boys, Eddie Robb and the Mob, the Money Making Crew. There was a lot of hip hop was very influential in Mount Vernon. And as far as the Nation of Islam in Mount Vernon, FOI was heavy in Mount Vernon.
Okay.
Back in the 80s. But I had the blessing of having an uncle whose name was Lewis, Brother Lewis, who was in the time who was around with the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and who was actually a lieutenant for Malcolm X.
Oh.
So my dad would always tell me, listen, you need to talk to your Uncle Lewis. And I would hear the stories. My Uncle Lewis would just, may Allah be pleased with me, transitioned not too long ago to hear these stories of the Nation of Islam. And then I had a brother that I went to elementary school. His name was Brother John. And when I came home from prison, I saw Brother John on 4th Avenue selling the Final Call newspaper. We've grown up together. But when I saw Brother John, I saw a different John. He was lean, mean, he was glowing, wearing that suit and bow tie to perfection. I'm like, yo, you're a Muslim now? He said, yeah. And he was the first person that I could relate to in my age group that joined the Nation of Islam.
Okay.
And it just did a great deal for me. And then as time went on, I yearned for something more spiritually. And I called him and I said, I want to join the ranks. And it was the greatest thing that I ever did, join the Nation of Islam.
Beautiful. Did you have another religion before that that you transitioned from?
Well, 5% Nation of Gods and Earth, which actually comes from the teachings of the Nation of Islam.
Okay.
It was a brother in the mosque. His name was Clarence 13X, who left the Nation of Islam and started the 5% Nation of Islam.
Okay.
And the lessons, it's almost the same thing, discipline factors, but we all bear witness that the black man is God. And that's what it was.
So now I'm gonna act, this is a little controversy part right here. Okay. Now, for me, I look at it like I'm not a religious person. I believe in God, right? Okay. And I kind of leave it at that. But I don't look at like, okay, this religion, I'm gonna talk bad about this one. I'm gonna talk bad. Like I feel that people believe what you want. It's not my choice to judge anyone. But like I'm gonna say this because I noticed that there division amongst our people, sometimes religion could be a part of that. Right. And when I the reason that I'm saying that is because I've seen stuff on the internet about Farrakhan, and then I've seen stuff with it's like a back and forth, and I don't remember the other guy's name, but I know the other pastor was Pastor Geno Jennings. I'm not sure if you heard of him or not. Okay, so it's like, okay, this one believes this one believes that, and then it's like it's not really a battle, but do you think that caused division amongst us as a people?
Absolutely. You have to look who gave us religion in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Christianity, with all due respect, was not our religion that was given us. This is Christianity was given us to about a slave master. It was either convert or get hurt. And that's what it was. At one time we were all Muslim. So, we love the church. As we're taught that a good Christian is a good Muslim and a good Muslim is a good Christian. A Muslim is one who submits to do his or her will to do the will of God. A Christian is one who crystallizes himself in the oneness of God. So what is the division is that a lot of people in the church think that Muslims, we don't worship Jesus, but Jesus was a prophet. He taught freedom, justice, and equality. We love Jesus just like you love Jesus. We just may have a different understanding of Jesus's function and purpose, but we love Jesus just like Christians love Jesus, maybe even more.
Okay. All right.
So I think that's where the division is.
Okay.
And like I said, in the Nation of Islam, it's like, we're a spiritual military. Mm-hmm. So when you come inside if you come inside the Nation of Islam, you'll notice that the women sit on one side, and the men sit on one side. We don't sit together, and it's for reasons because, with all due respect, sister, you going to church, and it's no disrespect, skirt could be right here, right? Here's a man, instead of him listening to the message, he's like this. This is a reality. We're not spooky people, right? So we separate the women are on one side, the men are on one side, so we can actually focus in on the word of God and not look and lust at each other.
No distractions.
No distractions.
Okay.
And if you go into church, everybody's sitting right next to each other. And that's just how it is. But we're a spiritual military, and we have the FOI and you have the MGT.
Right. Okay. All right. No, yeah, go ahead.
Come on, beloved. Come on.
I say, because, when you say the FOI, right?
Right. The fruit of Islam.
You look at the Wikipedia definition of it, they call you a paramilitary of the Islam.
Well, it's kind of what they will say is a paramilitary.
Yes. So it's me being in the military.
Right.
I understand that.
Your general orders.
Yes.
Right.
Paramilitaries will come in, they come in with their parachutes, they go in, destroy, and leave.
Right.
That also has a negative connotation.
Well, look at us coming in and destroying negativity. Look at us coming in, destroying falsehood. Look at us coming in, destroying anything that's bad for our people, whether it's food, lies, and we give the reality of God, and then we disperse. If that's more can answer your question like that. All right,
I love that. That was a good question, Ray.
Absolutely, Ray. Y'all can't see beloved Ray in the background making sure everything is happening.
Yes, but he here though. Oh boy, I just lost my train of thought. But that was a good question. But we talk about destroying the food and stuff like that. What is your diet like?
We strive to eat one meal a day in the Nation of Islam.
Ooh.
So now you hear this, what is it, OMAD, 1 meal a day? That came from the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, who was taught by God in person, to whom all holy praises due, came in the person of Master Father Muhammad, taught him and gave us a diet. We eat a lot of navy beans. These navy beans are very powerful in protein. They have so many different things to fight cancer, and they have to be they have to be prepared right. So we're really not into eating red meat. Okay. We strive. We want to get off the meat and get more to the fish side. We don't eat tuna. We don't eat any fish that weighs more than 50 pounds. We don't eat tilapia. Tilapia is a man-made fish.
Right, but why is it that? What does the pounds mean? Why?
Well, the bigger the fish, what it has in it, what it has obtained to get that weight. Like tuna has a lot of mercury in it. Right. So we don't eat that. Or salmon. Whiting.
You don't eat salmon?
No, we do eat salmon.
Oh, okay. I thought you
whiting, snapper. We don't eat shrimp. We don't eat any bottom feeders.
What
lobster.
About catfish? No?
Catfish. We don't eat catfish. Nope.
Oh, wow. Because I eat catfish. So educate us eaters who eat that why it's not good.
Well, catfish, for a few reasons, absolutely the weight of the catfish and what the catfish eats itself.
Okay.
It's kind of like the pig of the sea. If you think about it. I didn't mean it is what it is.
Oh, let me go to the bathroom.
So, listen, I know that's it. And you know what's funny with joining the Nation of Islam? What you would hear some of the people say, "Oh, I love my shrimp. I'm seafood city. I got to have my shrimp. I got to have my crab. I got to have my lobster. But I'm like, listen, do you know that eats what the other fish drop at the bottom of the sea?
Yes.
It's a vacuum cleaner. Just like a pig. A pig can eat anything. And you are what you eat. You know, so, and like I say, everything that tastes good for you is not good for you.
Right. Right.
You know? So, and this is just a reality, and things that taste the worst for you sometimes may be the best for you.
Let me ask you this, since we're on food. Sorry, I gotta get to these other questions. But right now we're living in a time where the food is being manipulated. It's a lot of fake GMO. They know that people want to be healthy and are trying to be better with eating. So now a lot of things in the supermarket and these places they're not producing good food. Right. So how do you guys, do y'all grow your own food? Because I don't trust the food in the supermarket, right? So how do you get around that?
It's really hard to tell you the truth because, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan taught us that, it's poison in the best of foods. So what we strive to do in the Nation of Islam, being that you could eat fish and the pesticides of these things, we fast for 3 days, once a month at the end of the month to rid our body of the toxins that we have accumulated from eating certain foods.
When you say fast, is it complete no eating, just juicing or water? What is it?
So what we do is Thursday is our last meal, and it's either water, coffee, or tea. No in between snacks, and we don't eat again until Sunday evening.
Oh, wow.
And then most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said if we eat one meal a day and we fast 3 times a month, it'll keep the doctor away. We won't have a doctor bill. So, and it's hard, right? Because you have places like, what's the place where everybody goes where the food is supposed to be healthy?
Trader Joe's, Whole Foods?
Right? The best of these foods, just they have toxins in them, and sometimes you can't get away from them.
Right.
But, we are taught to try to grow our own food, but in the society that we're in, you can only grow but so much.
Right.
And it's seasonal with the vegetation that you can possibly grow. My student minister, Brother Arthur Muhammad, he's big on gardening, tomatoes, cilantro, and things of those nature.
No, because I started my garden. Right. I think it's important, to do that. Very important.
But the Nation of Islam, we have farms. We have farms, and then we have a system set up where at certain times we get our salmon, we get our navy beans. Nice. We'll get things that we've known have been grown properly.
How does a person like us, right? How do you know what have been grown properly? What are you looking for that?
That's a good question. It's really hard to tell. We all shop in the same supermarkets. A lot of us shop in ShopRite, Stop and Shop, and Walmart, and our people try to go where the food is less. It's cheaper, and sometimes there's a price with that. But the way that this government is now, they're just putting poison in everything in the sodas and things of that nature. So we just try to have the best diet that we could possibly have because it's so hard.
Yes, it is. 100%.
Especially with these meats. The minister was talking, matter of fact, Brother Nori was talking about Chick-fil-A. And everybody was losing their mind over that Popeye sandwich and that chicken.
Oh, my God. We ain't going to forget about that.
Let me tell you something, right? Said there's 47 man-made chemicals in this chicken. That's really not chicken.
And which one? Chick-fil-A or Popeyes?
They may be a little bit off. One may have 43, but one may have 47. Man-made chemicals in a piece of chicken. Think about this.
Ain't that, see?
Right? So the minister says that
Glad I stopped eating that stuff.
The minister said that, the government, they're deceiving our taste buds to make us think that we're really eating chicken, and it's not chicken. Really make us think we're eating a steak, and it's not a steak. These are chemicals concocted together to make you think that you're eating chicken.
Yes.
And you're really not.
Yes.
I was having a conversation with a sister, right? Because she was talking about she wanted to eat French fries from McDonald's. And I said, have you know what they do to their French fries? It's a real question, right? When you go to do French fries, what is French fries? It's a potato.
Right.
Cut, put in grease, put ketchup. Why does McDonald's French fries taste different from Wendy's? From any other place you can think of? Ask yourself that question. For anybody that's watching me right now, why does McDonald's French fries, and we have all eaten the McDonald's French fries, taste crazy? But there's something with that. From what I was taught is that a regular potato, the skin is brown on the outside, but it's vice versa. These potatoes are white. And there's so much, I don't want to not say it right. It's just so much chemicals in this potato that before they can send it to McDonald's, they have to put it inside of a container because there's so much chemicals on this potato. Before they can give it to McDonald's. McDonald's has their own potatoes. They don't have the same potatoes as Wendy's.
Right.
Or White Castles or wherever at, you know. But we love this. So just ask yourself, McDonald's French fries taste crazy.
Yeah, you know, I think we ate McDonald's when our son was young. We stopped all the fast food.
Right.
We were still eating Popeyes and the Chick-fil-A, but then stopped that too. I always tell them, and look, they probably will shut me down for this, but I don't care. They shut me down anyway. I really believe that they are putting human flesh in this meat. I'm sorry to say it. That's what I believe. And I'm going to tell you another thing. Younger people don't understand. Our taste buds is different than theirs because we remember what the food used to taste like. So when I'm eating something, like I'm from Philly, right? I'm originally from Philly.
Okay.
When I would go back to Philly, I would be like, I got to get my cheesesteak. I got to get my cheese. So then my brother, he's taking me to all these different spots. We were going from a store. I was like, this ain't it. I was looking for a taste. And then it hit me. I said, I'm never going to find that taste because the food quality is different. So I'm searching for something that really don't exist anymore. Now, granted, you know, I probably shouldn't be eating meat anyway, but I'm just pointing out the fact that I realized then that what I was looking for, I'm not going to find. And I said, well, my kids and other people, they think that this is normal. It's normal to them. So they don't have nothing to compare it to.
No, that's a fact. You're absolutely right. That taste, and me personally, I eat a lot of Jamaican food.
Yeah.
Like I love the Jamaican culture, you know, in Jamaica quite a lot. And to be able to get fish and get it scaled and get it fresh out to sea and prepare it, to go in the yard that you know there's no pesticides on the yam or the fruits is the greatest thing right there. So, you know, I eat a lot of West Indian food. Because to me that's healthy. Yeah. That was what I can get in the house, you know, with my salmon, my brown rice, some good broccoli or some spinach, you know, something like that. It's really good. You know.
I realized that other countries, right, other urban countries, they have a healthier way of eating than Black Americans do because they are using more herbs and more things. They, natural. You know, natural stuff. And I'm still a soul food girl, right? I grew up on soul food, but I am not blind to the fact that I understand that this is why a lot of our people have high blood pressure and diabetes and all these issues. So I try to make the transition very slowly, you know, like, okay, I'm still got my collard greens, you know, stuff like that.
And
but
I'll tell you, you're not supposed to eat that. That's a whole
Oh, Jesus, no. You might as well tell me now because you didn't want.
No, what I will tell you
Lord.
is I want you, matter of fact, I'm going to gift you with this. I'm going to get you How to Eat to Live, Volume 1 from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I want you and good brother Ray, I want y'all to read this book. You would be surprised. Kale,
I'm growing collard greens and kale in my garden out there.
Go get your shovel, beloved, and dig it up. Get it out of there.
What? Oh, my God.
It's that. But
okay.
What I wanted to tell you, if you think about a lot of Caribbean people, why do you think they live longer than the average Black American in the United States? If you look at a lot of our West Indian, a lot of brothers from Africa, because the diet. Right. The Rastafarians right now, 90 years old, strong as a bull. From eating the right food. That's the easiest way that they're trying to kill us is through our mouth.
Yes.
Think about that. Through our mouth, and then what they feed us through our ear. It's the quickest way that this government is trying to get us out of here. It's like, and even if you look at the youth now, a lot of them are both obese. We didn't have a lot of like obese children when we were coming up because we were so active. So they took away outside sports. They took away the double dutch. They took away cheerleading. They took away Pop Warner. And now they gave it to you on the Xbox and the PlayStation, and now they've started adding all of this madness to the food now, and it's just keeping you stuck and stagnated. Right. So by the time you get to your 20s, you're having heart attacks. Ooh. You're having high blood pressure and high cholesterol. So let's be very mindful of what we feed our children, and the parents got to change their diet too.
It starts with the parents.
If the parent's not eating right, the child's not going to eat right.
Right.
You're going to pass it right on down.
Absolutely. That is so true. So true.
Woo. I'm glad you said that thing about tuna because I refuse.
And I eat tuna. Not as much, but I eat it.
But yo, Ray, you're a different man. You don't like sand either, brother. So we got to have a conversation.
All right. So okay, now we're gonna pivot a little bit back to this music thing. Before we get into this part of it, as far as the music, we spoke about Jamaica. Briefly tell people about you doing your video out there and how was your experience like in Jamaica?
It's so incredible. So years ago, I was blessed with the opportunity to meet a beautiful family, the Christies. They were from St. Mary, Jamaica. And just beautiful people. They took me in, and that was the first time I got my plate of saltfish, ackee yam dumpling, home cooked. And it blew my mind. And they were some of my best friends. To this day they are. And I've always had this dream of going to Jamaica. So I used to go with my family, but we would go to the resorts. Right. Yo, bro, man, listen, what you doing? You got to come. I'm like, listen, I'm not coming to Kingston because once again, they feed you these things that, and it's not like that. So fast forwarding, once again with Arsonist, my producer who's born in Mandeville, Jamaica, my right-hand man, I said I wanted to do this song with Junior Reid. That was the first time. So I did the song with Junior Reid, and we went to Kingston to actually film the video. And once it's filmed by my brother GQ, who was from Jamaica, my right-hand man. So we went to Kingston, and it was incredible because I'm so used to going on the resort. The furthest we would go was in the Grill or Dunn's River. But now I'm in what they call the garrison, what they call the ghetto. But that's where our people was at. And the love is just unreal from the people.
Right.
And just to be around that, like, I don't even want to go to a resort no more.
So, wow.
Yeah, it's real like that. So, Junior Reid, he actually made sure that I was good when I was out there. And it was the greatest experiences just to see the people out there. And so we did that one. And then on the second one, I said, listen, we got to go back again. And I got my brother, Agent Sasko. Agent Sasko is an incredible artist who actually brought me to Jamaica to perform at his 25th anniversary concert.
Oh,
and
nice.
I've never performed. It's like Summer Jam on steroids.
For real?
Oh my Lord! And listen, it was a downpour. It was a downpour. If anybody goes on my Instagram page, beloved_IBORN, you'll see the footage. And just to be out there with legends like, Bounty Killer and Spraga Benz and just all of the icons were out there. It was incredible. So I love the Jamaican culture, and it was just a blessing to have that song. I mean, that song is doing so well.
Beautiful,
it's
beautiful.
Like
It's a dope song. Yes,
it's called Mind of the Messiah.
Yes.
And that song, for those that don't know, in the song Mind of the Messiah, we're actually talking about the mind of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, because he's our Messiah right now that's guiding us in to a good place where we're supposed to be.
Nice.
So it was just incredible. Actually, I'm supposed to go out there next month and perform with Sasko again. So.
Oh, really?
Listen,
okay, so that's
you gotta go where you loved. Go where you loved.
Amen. I hear that. Yes. One last thing not last thing, but I gotta ask this, and I'm sorry that I keep saying I'm sorry that I keep saying I asked you this before, but you never know if somebody didn't see that one and they see this one.
Talk.
Look. Your voice, your sound. I know. Don't be mad at me now. Don't be mad at me. Now, you know a lot of people, and I'm sure you get
I hear it all the time. When he beat you to the punch,
go ahead.
You sound like Nas.
Listen, if I close my eyes, I hear Nas, though.
You know what? I take that as a highest compliment. Right?
Okay, because your voice, everything.
Yeah. So I would always ask people, so, when they said I sound like Nas, I'm like, okay, we're both not too far off in age, same, background of being around the 5% Nation of God's on Earth, seeing the same thing in the urban area. I'm like, is it that? And then it was like, no, it's like your vocal tone.
Yes.
And I'm like, wow. But like I said, you say I sound like Nas, I take that opposed to me sounding like somebody else. Nas is by far one of the greatest
absolutely
that has ever touched a mic. And, let me tell you a story about this. So my father had passed away, and we were coming back from the cemetery. My sister, she passed. Wow, this is crazy. My sister, she passed away. That was in the car with us. And she were going back, and she said, Nas was on the radio one day, and me and Dad was driving, and Dad was like, he said, Daphne, that's Chad on the radio? And she was like, no, Daddy, that's Nas. And that warmed my spirit for anybody to say that I sound like Nas, because my dad heard Nas on the radio and thought it was me. And this is the reality, right? My dad he didn't know anything about rap. Only one rapper. He loved Tupac Shakur.
Really?
My dad loved Tupac. So if my dad doesn't know who Nas is, heard any of his catalog, but he heard his voice and he said, "Is that Chad?" That lets me know it's the vocal tone that made him think it was me. So big up to Nasty Nas.
Yes.
You know, much love to you, my brother.
Listen, Nas has always been one of my favorites.
Incredible.
Yes, like I said, we named our son after him. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Nasir, absolutely. So look, it'll draw people in too. Like, oh, wait a minute. And then when they hear your message, it's just like, oh man, you know what I mean?
There's a flip side to it. So
look, what's the flip side to this?
So the flip side is, so sometimes, like, even when I did the record with AZ, we know AZ and Nas is one of the most greatest duos. Like, oh man, this nigga trying to sound like Nas. He sound too much like Nas. And I sit there and I laugh at it. It's not like I'm trying to. I can't help that my voice, has similarities to it. But sometimes you'll get that backlash. Like, here I am at this point in my life, trying to rhyme and sound like an icon. Right. Who has, done so much for so many people. But it's like, that's the flip side of it. But it's the greatest compliment that I can receive as an artist.
Right.
Any comparison with that.
Right. Now, would you say he influenced you in some way?
Nas, he definitely has had some influence because, my son, me and my son will go back and forth. My son, it's always a J. Back in the 80s, it was Kane and Ra. And in this dispensation, it's like Jay and Nas.
Okay.
And Nas just said some things to me that was so mind blowing. Like, wow, but then once again, the black man is God, so I wouldn't expect any less coming from a great mind like Nas.
Would you compare, if you had to compare yourself to anybody else, would it be him as an artist?
That's kind of hard because, my top five was always L, Rakim, Ghostface, Nas, and did I say Hov?
Nope, you didn't say Hov.
Yeah, so those are always my top five. So I'm definitely inspired by Nas. Absolutely.
Okay.
Definitely inspired by Nas.
Would you want to do a song with Nas?
Listen. That would be the greatest thing in the world.
That'd be dope. That would be dope.
Nas, if you hear me, I'm trying to get you on the Brother remix. All right?
Ooh, that would be fire. Okay, because he on that type of time too, so I know that's going to be dope. Yes.
Godson.
All day.
So Queens love Nas, I tell you that.
Yep. So, okay, this part is the music industry's dark side. All right? The industry is under a heavy scrutiny right now. Okay, especially with things coming out about P. Diddy and the behind the scenes manipulation. How do you protect your spirit and your purpose in an industry with so much darkness?
Wow. And what's so sad about that is a lot of our young people get caught out there because they have aspirations and dreams and ambitions of just being this great artist. And you have this old CEO who has these weird tendencies that wants to exploit you and manipulate you, and I'll give you this, but you have to give me that. And then, some of them fall into it, and it's bad. But this has been going on for a very long time. And, it's unfortunate that, our people that are like this were groomed by people that don't look like us. I was reading something before, Clive Davis was saying certain things about, that he had affairs and all of this crazy thing. These things start from a higher level. And unfortunately, some of our people are so greedy for fame and fortune that they'll do whatever it takes.
That is so bad.
Men and women, whatever it takes to get to this point. So once you sell your soul, there's no coming back. And then now these people, it's kind of like what they call like predators, right? A lot of the predators, they were touched and molested, and they have these tendencies, and then they take it and then they do it to other people. It's the same thing that happens in the industry, unfortunately, and they take advantage of these good young brothers and sisters, and it's sad, and that's what really has a dark place over here. But like I said, this is all being exposed now, but it's been going on for a very long time.
So you're protecting yourself?
Come on, Ray. Come on, listen.
He got a question?
Come on, Ray.
When I hear that, right? Because now I get some of these guys are young or old enough to understand, right? So when you hear this, do you really think that, do you blame the person who's doing it, or the person who should, especially at a certain age, say, you know what, I'm going to give up my soul to make it, you know?
I blame both. You know, because guess what? The person that's willing to give up their soul, something was in him already for him to accept that bait, right? I can't see a natural man or a natural woman conforming to something that's against his or her nature. You know, with something in there already, you know? So just to throw this, I'm going to put you on top of the world, but, you know, and the next thing you know, because you got a lot of artists that are platinum right now. They shouldn't be platinum. They're garbage. Think about it, right? Just think about it, right? You have some artists who cannot rhyme or who cannot sing that went in the studio and thanks to technology, they sound like Whitney. Will never sound like Whitney Houston, but they're appealing to the point where they can have millions and millions of streams. But guess what happened? We live in a very sick world.
Yes, we do.
We live in a very, very sick world.
Yes, we do. All right, so
okay, and that's why it's hard for rappers like IBORN to break through to a certain audience, because I'm going to steer you away from that with the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is given to us by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to get you away from that. So they're going to shut me down everywhere.
How do you overcome that?
Keep grinding, keep praying, keep pushing, perseverance. Because guess what? All it takes is the right person. I may not be able to save 100. If I get 5 or I get 10, I'm thankful.
Right.
Because that 5 or that 10 is going to spread. It's a slow grind.
Right.
It's a slow grind to getting our people.
Your music mission, is it multi-purposes? Like, this is what I love to do, I'm just doing what I love? Or this is what I love to do, but I'm here to change, the people, save the people? What is your purpose behind what you're doing? Okay.
Definitely save the people. Definitely save the children, the youth. My main goal is these young people.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, right, I've been signed to a major record label. I've acquired some things. And I didn't come back at this point in my life for money. Financially, man, I was able to buy a house and cars and put my children through school without music. So this is just like what they say, it's icing on the cake.
Right.
But to have the opportunity to have a platform where I can reach people, it's multi-purpose.
Gotcha.
Because I just want to save lives, and, I just want to make sure that these children and these young people get the best that they can possibly get out of life. And by however means that I can do that through music, conversation, I'm all for it. So it's I would definitely say multi-purpose.
Yes. Okay. As someone who stands on knowledge of self-purpose, right? How do you balance staying relevant without compromising your values?
I'm just so certain. I'm at that point in my life where I'm just confident in who I am. So I'm always going to just maintain that balance and that integrity, and I'll never have to compromise anything because I have Islam. I have the teachings. So when you have these teachings, I don't need to compromise anything. I know who I am. I'm solid in my identity, and I know who my God is. So with my faith right then and there alone, there's no compromise with anything.
Okay. Yeah, because, when you look, a lot of people in the industry, it's like some people I've seen come in with a certain morals and vision, and then they change. Yeah, they change.
You know what happens? Their God and their morals are now money.
Yes.
So they've lost contact with the Creator. So their God is whatever pays them now.
Right.
So there's no more religion. And I'm going to be real. Like, I know Muslims that rap and like, I'm like, listen, man, I know for a fact the Quran don't say, the Quran doesn't teach that. You can't give me a hadith, or you can't give me some sort of sidebar on why you're doing what you're doing when you know that the Quran doesn't say that. So that's when you know we've really lost sight on what the mission is. When you got 2 books right here, Value and Principle, but you're going to use them for what you use them for, but you don't really use them for what their purpose is on what they were made for.
Right.
Was to guide humanity and to teach you to walk a certain path. Now, the path is out the window now, and then you're going to come up with all sorts of phrases and, you can't remix the Holy Quran. You can't do that. Okay. It's an untampered with book. But you'll do it for the benefit of
money.
Yeah, but not in the Nation of Islam. We don't do
All right. Well, look. Oh, boy. I got so much, but I had you here so long, and I don't want to because I know
listen,
you gotta
I'm
get in here.
Listen, I'm here.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask 3 more questions from each of these because it's about 9 more, and I want to do that to you because you know what it is. I gotta be again. We touched on other things that I thought was so important. You educating us on food and how you fast, just a whole lot of stuff. Right. And I just wanted to get that information because sometimes we don't know, or whoever's tuning in, they might not know either. So I didn't want to interrupt that either, Lady
Miz, listen, you are more than welcome to ask your questions. It's an honor to be here with you and your husband. So,
yes.
Let's do what we do.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Do you think that artists are being spiritually attacked in this business? How are you guarding your energy to keep your mission intact? Now, I know I did ask something similar to that, but when you look at the artist that's out right now, right? And as I said, some people change. Do you think it's a spiritual attack?
Absolutely. This honestly, this generation, it's like they skipped God. They bypassed God straight to money, fame, and fortune. So that was the attack on the spirituality. If I can blindside you and give you this so-called bag, you're going to forget your morals and you're going to forget the creator. And once you do that, you're definitely going to spiral out of control. And that's just what it is. If you think about our time, we knew God. Right? You know why? Because our parents knew God.
Right.
So now this generation, their parents seem like they don't care about God. They got to go to the grandmother or the great-grandmother to know who God is. So then that's the attack on the spiritual part right there.
We got so many people that are trying to just be in the streets, be outside, and still, I don't know what they're searching for out there, that they're forgetting to guide the youth. Right. You know what I mean? So when you put out your music and you're teaching the youth, do you feel that you get any pushback from the younger kids at all? And have you ever got any?
It's a great question because yesterday I had the opportunity to go back into my community. My brother Saigon gave me a call and we went to a career day at Pennington Grimes Elementary School in Mount Vernon. And we spoke to 8th graders and I asked them, I said, I don't know.
Wait, what day you know?
No, I'm like, this generation, like my children, my youngest is 20. So I'm like, okay, how do you crack the mind of someone that at that age right now with all that's going on, right? So we went there and I was like, he said, yo, you feed off of me. And then, I'm looking at the students and they're looking at us. They're probably like, yo, who these old heads? Of course I was fly.
Okay.
You already know that. So
you better know
y'all gonna identify with these garments. But we went there and the staff was amazing. And just to find out what the mindset of some of these young children was absolutely, you have some that still want to be doctors. Beautiful. You have some that still want to be lawyers. You have some that still believe that they can make an impact in this world, whether it's with tech, whether it's with music and this group they were working on a podcast. So we're sitting there and we're talking to these children. And after a while, we broke through. And they were very receptive and they were very happy that we were there, and it was it just wound up being a love fest.
Beautiful.
And, just to be able to go back and talk to these children, they were receptive. And once again, the parents and what they're being taught in the school system, and it was a blessed day that day yesterday. So.
Beautiful. That's good. So you feel that it served its purpose.
It served its purpose, and I was honestly, I left there. Not going in a place knowing what the outcome was going to be, it was just absolutely amazing. And when it was all said and done, all of those children all ran out and they took pictures with us, and it felt good. I'm like, okay, we're not that old.
I feel like like some of this stuff. It's like I don't want to be repetitive because when you're talking, we go into other things, but I still want to add. Okay,
that's the blessing of editing.
Right, absolutely. Absolutely, that's true. So you know what? I'm going to ask.
You dictate what you do, you know what I mean?
So this part of the question is called real over manufactured. Okay? There's a rise in artists being used as puppets to push a certain agenda. How do you stay grounded making conscious music when that's what's being pushed by the mainstream?
You know, as I told you, it's like an uphill battle, but you also have to know your audience. Like I know for a fact, I'm not making music right now for an 8th grader.
Okay.
I'm not making music for the stick-up kid or the one that bust their gun. You know, I'm telling you not to do it. I'm guiding you from that, but do you want to listen to it?
Right.
So when I make the music, my music is universal, but it, you know, like I said, it's a certain way that I attack the music. I'm going to pull you in. I'm going to give you what you need. It's up to you to take it. But like I said, it's always an uphill battle when you speak truth in a world of lies and falsehood. You know, everything is microwavable right now. You got microwave rappers, you know, and now you come in and you're making a song and you're really talking about nothing. You know what I've learned? This generation, it's a vibe. That's what they call this music is. It's different from what we do. This is a vibe. It may not have that lyrical content or that edge to it, but it's a vibe. All music is a feeling. We all provide a feeling. That's why we make the music. Like we were talking about, you still like to listen to hard music.
Yeah,
you know
I do.
Because it gives, you know why? Because it gives you a feeling from when you first heard it. Think about that. So this is what Arsonist told me. He said, we don't sell music. We sell a feeling. That's why you want to go back to listen to Mary J. Blige, because you want to get a feeling. Or you want, you know, so that's the world we're in right now. You know, you have to just know your audience and who you're making the music for. There's a funny thing. So when I look at my analytics, I have some young people following me. Now, when I say young, my son's age, 24 years old. 30 years old, I'm like, wow, y'all are still tapped in, but you have a group of that because guess what? Their parents are tapped in.
Right. Okay.
So now this is what they're able to feed the children. Like, yo, no, I know this type of music, and they grow with it. So, but it's definitely a hard struggle in this environment and in this mindset to make that breakthrough music when you're a certain artist of a certain age to a certain demographic of another age.
When you say vibe, right? Because I'm processing what you said. It was a vibe for us too. Like our parents, and hear me out real quick, because I see you, I see that look. Well, the reason that I say that is because I remember listening to certain things, not everything, but certain things where my parents did not want to hear. Like, what are you listening to when rap came out, right? Because they couldn't get with it. Yeah. It was like, what is that? So now, are we doing that to the younger generation? Because I think that it creates a gap, right? Hear me out. Let me say this. Let me say this one thing. So like we'll say, oh, the younger generation, you know, they're talking like this, they're doing that, and we don't want to hear that, and we'll push them aside, and then we'll say the younger generation don't respect us, the older generation. But it's both sides. How are we gonna bridge that gap? Because being a creator, right? They're creators too. Right. So how do you bridge the gap between the OGs and the newcomer, the upcoming artists?
Honestly, it's being done in some senses. As you see, Nas went back and did a record with 21 Savage. There was some beef. Okay. And Nas went back and got the young brother and schooled him on the song Okay. So these things are being done. I clearly remember back, you know, our parents is like when they first heard like Rakim, like, what is this?
Right.
You just not made to understand this right now. This is not your thing. They're not from an era of hip hop. They're from an era of something else. Now us, with this generation, we know rap. And I like some of the new music. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you know, I like a lot of, like I said, as long as it's Kendrick, you know, it's J. Cole. You have these certain artists that are saying stuff that has substance to it. I like it. But guess what? We were all given creative will where we can pick and choose what we like. So I don't knock somebody for not liking it. So to bridge the gap is you know, it's kind of hard. Like we were talking about, how can you bridge it as a parent? How could you bridge Sexy Red? How could you do that?
Right.
When she's talking what she's talking, there's no justification for some of the stuff she's saying. Right. I can't even say the first song I heard from her is bananas. You know.
Okay. I got this question before we get to this last one. So you've done songs with a lot of people in the industry,
right?
And I'm going to use this because you know what? Let's take Jim Jones. You got a joint out right now with Jim Jones. Now D1, you remember? Do you know D1?
I remember that.
He was getting at Jim Jones. How do you look at that situation, knowing that, okay, well, I know that your message is still a great message with the song, but you got, the song with him. D1, you come across somebody like him. How do you respond to that? Like,
I think it's all about, it's ways that you can get your point across.
Okay.
Like honestly, when he did that for Jim, some people may feel it was clout chasing, because there's a way to have a conversation. I know if I say something openly where the people can hear it, it's going to start something. So to me, you're looking for something to happen. You're not just going to say anything to Jim Jones. Jim Jones is going to respond back. But it was a way that if you really wanted to get that message to him in a real, like, yo, beloved, I think what you're doing is such and such and such. So, of course, Jim, being who he is, he's going to respond the way he's going to respond because, honestly, you try to disrespect me publicly.
Right.
You tried to do it in the righteous way, but it was still a shot at me. So I'm going to respond back the only way I know how. I believe they've spoken since then, but I just think it's all on the way that you relay your message to somebody. If I want to get a message to you, I'm not just going to come out in the middle of the street and, yo, Ray, oh, brother, I know who you are. And I can find you and have a more formal man-to-man conversation. Otherwise, I'm doing it for attention. Right. And when I first saw him do that, it was for attention. He's an aspiring rapper. Right. He wants to get on. So what better way to get on? That was his platform, and that was the way he got on. Let me target this person, target that person, target that person. Now I'm looking for a response. Soon as Kanye West says my name, I made it. Soon as Jim Jones says my name, I made it. And now look at it. People just have weird ways of doing things to get on. I think he's a good brother. But like I said, I just think his approach with Jim could have been done a little better under the radar. So
you feel that he should have maybe reached out to him privately instead of trying to shame him on the internet and put him down.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Look how he did it. Any normal person would take offense to that. Because at the end of the day, okay, Jim is doing what Jim is doing. Who are you to come out of nowhere and because you're into the church or whatever you're into to try to demoralize and defame this man publicly? And I'm not just saying that because I have a relationship with Jim, but it goes to any person. There's ways of communicating if you have a problem. He chose to take that way on social media, and it got handled that way on social media. And this is how a lot of things spiral out of control because we don't know how to communicate our differences. We have to go straight to the gram.
I'm glad you said that because I look at it a little bit. At first, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be honest. I did agree with what D1 was saying.
It was listen what I'm trying to say. It was truth in what he said, but did he have to do
it but that right there, that's the part I didn't look at that part. You're right.
Can you imagine it? Yeah. Well, of course, if he DM'd Jim gets 1 million DMs a day, would he answer it? But I'm quite sure there was a way you could have sent something to him without doing that. Because at the end of the day, it could have went left. You're dealing with people that's really outside.
Yeah.
Like, when you say you outside, like, you got some people that are really outside.
Right.
It could have been another way it handled.
Absolutely.
Was it true for what he said? Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. No, he's right. You're right.
Nowadays, social media is the telephone for everything.
The clout chase.
Yeah, it's the clout chase. It's the clout chase.
Yeah, that's true.
Nobody knows. And I hate to say it about our people. We've gotten to that point where we do not know how to say, "Hey, let me put you to the side."
Right. Let me put this. Let me throw this reel up and let it go viral. Next thing you know, is shots fired when I pull up in your city.
But that is a product of emotional men.
Yeah.
Yes, a product of emotional men. You're right.
Because look, when he did have the opportunity to have the conversation with Jim, look how peaceful it was.
I'm glad you pointed that out.
It could have been that way behind closed doors. If you could have don't bait somebody out.
Right.
Don't bait the killer. Because sometimes the killer's going to come. You just have to know who you're dealing with. Like, if you're not about that life, it's got to be another way that you can communicate to a man because he may not think rational. All he may know is kill.
Because he felt disrespected.
Yes.
You know, I'm glad we touched on that, because now I look at it a little bit different, because at first I was like, no, why is Jim Jones responding like that? But yeah, you was disrespectful and you try to shame him in front of the world that's watching. How do you expect somebody? There's no boundaries now because you feel disrespected. I can't,
You did it in God's name. Right? You did it in God's name, right? You can't shame no grown man like that.
That's true.
Who are you to do that? What qualified you to do that? But now, brother's doing numbers now with his music. You got to see the science and the strategy behind some of these moves that are done strategically for people to get where they are. Not saying the brother's not saying he's a bad man, but
his music is dope too. I have D1's album. I think it's dope. I thought his message is dope too.
A lot of promotional stuff is crazy what we do for publicity.
Yo, that's great. But you know what? Yeah, you're right. Dang.
Right.
Hip hop, unfortunately, dying is a publicity stunt nowadays.
He said, listen, he said,
that's true,
what
right?
Kiss said dead rappers get better promotion.
Yep. That's right. Oh, man. Okay, so we are in our last questions. This is it, for real. Okay. Advice for the upcoming artists. What advice would you give to the young artists trying to make it in the game without falling victim to the politics and the traps?
Be true to yourself. Stay true to your craft. Don't jump on the latest trend, because these trends have an ending to them. Your skill set and your God-given gift will outshine and last the longest. Stay true to who you are, and that's that.
Now, we're going to end it, right? But I want you just to recap all the people in the industry that you've done songs with, and tell people where they can follow you and support you.
All right. We're going to start from the top.
Yes.
My brother's, we're going to start from the top.
Okay.
Start with KRS-One.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. I ain't even know. Did I know that? I don't think
listen, KRS-One signed me exclusively to Reprise Records in 99. That was my first recording deal.
Oh, snap. See, I didn't know that. That should have been in my questions.
Matter of fact, let me take it back before KRS-One.
Come on,
right, we're gonna
please.
Open it up. We're going to take it back to my brother Herb McGruff from Harlem World. That was the first album I was featured on, Destined to Be. McGruff, if you're listening to this, brother, I love you dearly. He gave me an opportunity. I was on the song with Killer Cam, Herb McGruff, and our brother Panama P.I. who transitioned. After that, let's talk about it. I had production from Pete Rock.
Okay.
Let's go. Yeah. I'm from Money on the Mount Vernon. Then we'll get it up to KRS-One. I had the opportunity to be signed by KRS-One and do a song with KRS-One. Mm-hmm. And then we'll bring it up to the new time. My brother Styles P from the Locks.
All
Styles he set it off for me. From Styles, we go to Ghostface Killer. That's my big brother. From Ghostface Killer, we go to AZ, phenomenal lyricist. My brother Case from Mount Vernon, R&B sensation, as they will say, this great singer. Then we're going to move it on to Junior Reed. Production from the legendary, iconic heat makers, my brother Arsonist, on to the new album, Raekwon the Chef, Wu-Tang Clan, Jim Jones, the great Joel Ortiz, Agent Sasko, and I can't forget my brother Saigon and my brother Wise from 7-Up. And this is where we at right now, and we're gearing up for the next project, which is called Wilderness. And I can't forget Donique and Ashe Quran from the Nation of Islam, my brothers in Galaxy.
Okay.
And now we're gearing up for the third project called Wilderness of North America. And I don't even want to tell you who the lineup on this one is.
Oh, you can't give us we can't get the sneak peek on From the Ground Up.
You gotta mute it. You gotta mute it. You gotta mute it.
Tell us behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes. Okay. Yeah, it's crazy.
The name of the album, say it again, the upcoming project.
The upcoming project is called Wilderness of North America. It's the acronym for WONA and My Lord.
Okay.
Oh, my Lord.
Ooh. I can't wait.
Yeah. So,
Visuals.
Oh, God. I'm going to show y'all something. I don't even want to say nothing real quick. When this is over, I'm going to show y'all something. But I got one visual that's about to drop in the next 2 weeks. It's crazy. Then we're working on one more.
Okay, all right. So when can we expect to see that? When can the people expect it? Where should they be looking for this?
On all streaming platforms, on all platforms. So the name of the label is Born Wise LLC. Shout out to my brother Street Deacon Wise. And now we're gonna do some really, really big things. It's about to be incredible. All
right. Well, we looking forward to it. I can't wait.
I'm gonna let you know first because I gotta come on the show and
you already know from the ground up, baby. Yes. Well, I want to thank you again for coming on. I know it is definitely a pleasure to have you here in person.
Thank you for having me. I greatly appreciate the hospitality.
And we appreciate what you are doing.
Thank
you understand,
so much.
like your message, your purpose, all of that is so much needed. Keep doing that because like we really need that in our culture, period. So shout out to you. Shout out to the Nation of Islam. Shout out to all the artists that you rock with because a lot of them, we listen to all of those artists and grew up on listening to them. So that's just dope. And you're a dope artist all around. And my favorite is Brother. That's what pulled me in.
Yeah.
I was like, oh snap! And again, just the way you come. You see, EK came in like, oh, so, you know what? Shout out to the younger generation because he can come in and respect that. You understand what I'm saying? I love that. I love that, man.
And to the world, listen, welcome to Bowtie Cities, the new slogan, the Nation of Islam, the Savior's Tour is dropping in every city across the U.S., coming to a community near you to teach, train, uplift, motivate, and educate our people. We love you much, the Nation of Islam. We're here to be a service to the people. Thank you.
Thank you. Listen, we appreciate you. One more time before we get out of here, tell them how they can follow you. Your Instagram, please.
My Instagram is beloved_IBORN on my IG. Facebook, The Real IBORN. Go on there and review on Spotify. Any streaming platform, all you got to do is put up capital IBORN and you're going to just be introduced to my catalog. All the upcoming content and videos is all there for you. So go on and support, stream, and download. My new project is out right now, Born Again, produced by the Heatmakers. And we out here doing numbers and we touching the people. And we're going to continue to touch the people in the righteous way.
All right. Y'all heard what he said. Go support, go download, and go follow him so y'all know what's going on. This is from the Ground Up Productions. There's only one way to go from here. This is where creators meet. But y'all know it ain't over. Because what? He about to touch that creators box, baby.
Yeah.
So let's get it popping. Peace.
Let's go. Peace. Yeah. I want to welcome you all to Bowtie City from the ground up. As we do what we do.
Heatmakers, crack.
I have noticed I'm born in Aussie out of high.
This is what New York City's supposed to sound like. We so enormous. Yeah, yo. Hear the organs in the background, that's a funeral in session. What's the weight of the earth? 6 sextillion and 6 lessons. Superior performance, enhanced endurance. This is what New York City's supposed to sound like. We so enormous. Concoction, my antibiotic. Check my doctrine. Dodge, impeccable, fight better. When I'm boxing, I'm locked in beyond the stratosphere. Now y'all watch and see what I wear. What do I get? Surrounded by millionaires. See me in royal robes and all my splendor. I enter the heart, 16 holders to hell's winter. My motorcade pull up. The whole Mount Vernon, they pull up, got the town on my back, baby. So what up? Prolific bar spitter, Pulitzer, panoramic views as I get richer. More than a sidewalk caution as you approach this. My sermon mixed with crack music causes high explosives. From the ground up. This is what we do.
That's why high explosives can actually go off at between 6,000 to 9,000 meters per second, which is pretty fast.
I have noticed I'm born in Aussie out of iron.
This is what New York City's supposed to sound like. We so enormous.
Alright, that's what we talking about, baby. Yes.
Damn, I need that.
Blazing, yes, fire. All right, y'all, we got IBORN in the building, baby. IBORN in the building. Y'all see what it is. He is here signing that creator's box. Okay? Let him know. Mount Vernon in the building.
Mount Vernon in the building all day, every day.
Yes.
hope you enjoyed your time with From the Ground Up Productions. We'll see you next time. Be sure to add our channel and listen to us on all streaming platforms.
From the ground up. From the ground up. There's only one way to go from here.